Hello everyone and welcome back today for round 4 of the GT Sport League here at Gavra Racing, sponsored by the Black Country Metal Recovery. It's great to have a sponsor for the league, but yes, like I mentioned earlier, we're here for round 4 at Alsace Village, and I'm joined once again by my co-commentator
Cryptech, hello.
And we're here at Alsace Village in the made up regions of France for the 4th round of the GT Sport League. We've got a few changes that will have been made for this race and for the rest of the season. We've upped the quality to 15 minutes for these tracks, but for Circuit de l'Alsace and Saint-Croix it will be 18 minutes, so the drivers can get more than 3 laps in for quali. But really technical.
Yeah, this track has many elevation changes.
And
it can get slippery through those corners, as so would it, spinning a lot in practice.
Definitely, and a total elevation difference of 57.3 meters, and due to the major elevation changes, it is a quite high tyre wear track. So strategy is going to be really interesting to see whether some of these drivers go for the softs or the super softs and stretch them and make multiple pit stops in this race, or whether we see people go for the mediums and potentially even the hards. I don't think the hards have been used at all this season, but we do have 11 drivers lined up on the grid tonight. We've got a new permanent driver. We saw him last week, Wolfie 907. He is in the Porsche 911 RSR, so we're going to see what he can do in that car. Really nice car, really grips nicely in the high-speed corners. It's really nice round tracks such as Lago Maggiore, which we will be going to at the end of the season, so we'll have to see his pace. I think he finished 6th last time out in Mount Panorama, which if you didn't watch is a great race. I highly recommend you go check it out. But currently on track we've got the 2 BCMR drivers slipstreaming each other in this quali time.
It's around with front bumper damage.
And Finn in the Ferrari spinning. This is going to be this is going to be a tough race, I think, for Finn in the Ferrari, a very snappy car. This track, many different elevation changes, as you can see there, just a little dip into the left-hander, and also many medium high-speed corners, which isn't going to help his cause in the Ferrari. But meanwhile in quali we've got the 2 Aston Martin, the 2 British drivers slipstreaming each other, so a bit of tactics going on up front, coming through the final few corners of turn 14 and 15. And we're going to see what lap times they can do. Both, I believe, are on the racing soft tyres. It will be Toussaint to come across the line first. So that's 1 minute 52.2, and Tiger Assassin beats it. Woody even goes quick, and Epic goes provisional pole on the soft compounded tyre, but Dutchy beats it by 4/10 with a 1 minute 50.9 on full fuel pretty much. That's an impressive lap from him. Ted moves into, where is Ted? Into 6th, 1 minute 54.1, 3.2 seconds behind Dutchy's time. And Fergie the Viper slots in behind him, 3/10 off of the Aston Martin driver. RNG then moves his Ford up into 6th place, unable to qualify or race in last week's race due to some lobby issues. That's unfortunate. Math Gaber Connor, I see in the chat there, couldn't make it to today's race unfortunately, but hopefully he'll be back for next week in his Lexus. But a good lap from Woody actually. Might have had a little bit of slipstream in that Toyota, getting himself up into 3rd place. We're only 1.1 seconds behind his teammate who's on provisional pole, 7/10 behind Epic, and only 800ths clear of Tiger behind him.
I think the Toyota will struggle more around this track because there is a lot of streets, and as we know, the Toyota doesn't have as much as power as the Aston Martins do.
Yeah, definitely. We saw, especially from Brands Hatch and Mount Panorama, that the Toyota that Dutchy and Woody drives hasn't got as much power in a straight line as the Aston Martins of Epic, Toussaint and Tiger, and the other drivers who run in the Aston Martin. But we've got a few more drivers now who are coming up into the final sector of this track. We've got 3 sectors, 3 pretty long sectors. Let's play Dutchy behind Tiger, Tiger letting Dutchy go through, but I believe it will be Toussaint, who's currently in 5th position, to come across the line and set another time as he clips the wall a little bit on the on entry and gets some damage to the front aero and suspension of his car. He's into the pit, so's Epic and Woody. Tiger's also into the pits. Dutchy stays out and improves by a tenth on his time, goes 5 tenths clear of provisional pole, and we're seeing some drivers now putting onto the super soft tyres, so we're probably going to see a bit more competitive times as Epic runs wide at turn 1. I believe he came out of the pits there, I don't know if there was contact, but the top 4, apart from Dutchy, going onto the racing super softs.
Looking at the chat, we've got
RNG's also into the pits. I'm assuming this is going to be for a set of super softs, and it is for a set of super softs. So the guys who entered the race on the softs will start the race on those soft tyres. However, the qualifying restrictions allow you to run any tyre you wish in the race towards the back of the grid. I don't think Wolfie set a lap. Wolfie's currently there he is. Wolfie's currently on the lap. Sector splits 40. I know we're not even we've just gone past the sector. My bad. And
he's in a different car. A common one. He's in the Porsche.
And 11 Porsche for Wolfie.
Yeah.
I don't think someone used it last season, so a new car altogether. A nice black vibrant livery on his Porsche. We'll see what he can do on this lap as he's approaching the fast right-hander. I can't remember what car Julia was using. But anyway, a really tricky corner taken in 4th gear, about 125 miles per hour. 1 minute 17.1 is sector split for in the middle sector. Approaches the hairpin now, taking it down to 2nd gear, 50 miles per hour, easy on the accelerator. Approaching the final few corners in the track. Hello Tobster in the chat as well. Wolfie now currently in 10th place. We'll see if he can improve on his time, which he set 1 minute 53, but it hasn't said he's on the board, so maybe it was invalid, as Play Dutchy's in for the super softs as well. Wolfie now around the final corner, almost hits the barrier. We'll see what time, where this puts him on the grid. Puts him in 8th place, 154.1 from Wolfie. His first race in the his first race as a proper driver. We'll see what he can do later on. We still got 6 minutes. Epic and Bucket of Viper going side by side into turn 2. Glad that didn't end in tears for either driver. But someone who's showing quite good pace is Woody early on, and I say that, and there's contact between him and Toussaint. The Aston Martin's ploughed right into the rear of the Toyota, and that Toyota has major damage to the back. We're getting on board from the rear of Woody's car and see what happened. I think Woody's gone to lift off the throttle to let Toussaint go, but done it on the racing line, so causing damage to both cars.
Woody and Toussaint having issues again, just like I think 2 races ago. Woody being lapped by Toussaint. They did come a little bit better together. And today they touch again.
Once again, 2 drivers come into some minor collisions. Luckily this is only qualifying though. I don't know if Toussaint was on a flying, how much he was improving on his lap, but it would have definitely cost him if he was, or whether he wasn't, it doesn't really matter too much. He might have improved in the middle final sectors of his lap. I think Woody was on an out lap at the time, so should have or could have done a better effort to get off the racing line and allowed the Aston Martin through. But speaking of an Aston Martin driver, Epic's coming around the final corner. We'll see what times he can do in his Aston Martin. Teammates with Ted, comes across the line, improves, just under 4 tenths behind Dutchy, 151.1. Tiger improves, jumps Woody, and 2 tenths behind Epic. And Wolfie
Woody's
also
in his highest ever qualifying position right now.
I can't
He
remember
hasn't been
where.
able to bring the Toyota to at least top 5 in race results or quali. I think today this can be. I think he's just a bit stronger on this track.
And as of this season, this is Woody's best quali so far. He is on the soft tyres though, so he might pit for the super soft. He does have Toussaint behind him once again, so Toussaint this time on an out lap. Woody, both of them on an out lap, so maybe Toussaint might back up a little bit to try and get some breathing space between them. We got some support for Woody in the chat. Tobs are cheering on Woody. Connor saying it's a good performance from Epic so far. He done well to get himself in 2nd place, 4 tenths behind Play Dutchy. I think Play Dutchy's actually on a lap here as he's approaching turn 9.
They both pit for the super softs.
Riding on board with Dutchy, he's gone 2/10 quicker in the middle sector, approaching turns 11 now. A nice hairpin taken in second gear. Will ride on board the bonnet cam of the Toyota, hooking up the apex quite nicely, not running too wide, as they now approach a very massive elevation change. It's so high you can even see turn 1 braking just before the tyre circle oval thing. I don't know what you'd call it. But into the final few corners now. Not hitting the barriers. Dutchy improves by 600ths and goes even quicker than his personal best.
Coming across the line. Doesn't improve.
But someone who does improve, Tiger Assassin in the Aston Martin. Only going 200ths quicker though. An improvement, but not a massive one on his time.
We're still waiting to see a better time from Toussaint and Woody. I'm sure they can do better.
As I believe both of them set their times on the the soft tyres. Sorry, they've just pitted for the just come in for the purple striped super soft, similar to the old F1 tyres. That's a lie, actually. Not similar. Super softs used to be red. Ignore me.
Yeah.
But similar to the new tyres, you could say. The soft tyres are red in this game, and in F1. Okay, so I'm right on that, but ignore me. 30 seconds ago. So Woody and
on the super softs. Looks like the super softs doing on this track. Well, meanwhile, Finn is on the mediums with front bumper damage.
The mediums. He does come into the pits, but will he have time to make another lap? He's not.
He's stopped in the pits.
How has he done that? Is this the
maybe?
Is this the Ferrari master plan of Finn? This is all. I've never seen this before.
That is weird.
I'm riding on board with him now. He's flashing his lights, so he's in control of his car. But he has control of the lights. But in the meantime, we've got Play Dirty coming across the final corner now, and you can see the stricken Ferrari in the pit lane. Does he improve? He does improve by a 10th and moves 6/10 clear of Epic. A storming performance from him. Epic though,
his pit crew doesn't come out.
Epic won't improve on his time. He's on worn tyres, comes into the pit, so his pit crew are going to serve him. Tiger's also into the pits, but Woody and Toussaint now are both on their laps. Toussaint behind the Toyota, so he's going to get the nice slipstream, the cleaner air. As he's right over the back of the Toyota.
This whole team just betrayed him. Into the pits, and you don't see his pit crew.
A minute to go in this quali session. We've had, We've had 14 minutes, 1 to go, as we've had a quali change midway through the season. And Woody's actually pulling a bit on Toussaint. Toussaint's made a mistake. He's gone red in his middle sector. I didn't see the split. But Woody on a lap as well. We'll see what he can do. We'll ride on board with the Toyota. You can hear the tyres screaming through the middle to the 90-degree left-hander. He's got Toussaint and the Aston Martin behind him. Approaching a really tricky section in this track. It'll be interesting to see whether we see any overtakes down at turn 14 and 15. But Woody now comes across the line. Does he improve in his time? No, by quite a lot actually. And Toussaint doesn't improve either. I think he backed off because he's 4 seconds off on his personal best. But that is time up in the qualifying session, meaning it will be Toussaint actually will be the last one to set a time. But it's not letting me spectate Ted for some reason. I don't know if you've got the same thing.
Not sure. Ted. Yeah, it doesn't let me.
So unfortunately we won't get many perspectives of Ted, but who is coming around the final corner? Dutchy's coming around the final corner, won't improve on his lap. He's on a 2-minute lap and will qualify on provisional pole position. Can anyone do anything about it? Can Epic stop Dutchy's pole position streak? He can't say anything about it. What about Tiger Assassin? I don't think he's going to improve on his lap either. Comes across the line in 3rd place. Woody is still on the laps. A lot of these guys on the lap. Finn has finally been served in the pit lane. He's on a 2-minute lap, so he won't improve. Wolfie's finished his time. He won't be improving either. So I believe there's someone approaching the final corner now. I can't see who it is. It's Scouting Ninja. Does he improve on his very worn soft tyres?
Do you see 2 tenths up on his, almost 3 tenths up on his time?
And Finn does it.
His highest ever quality.
So Epic currently in second place. RNG there in the Ford test car, coming around the final corners now. Will he improve? Will he beat his current 6th position? He does improve in his time, but it's not enough to beat Toussaint in the Aston Martin in front. Woody though is on a lap. He's approaching the final corner now. He's got Toussaint right behind him. Does he improve? He doesn't improve. Well, Toussaint improves. Jumps Woody in 4th place, but qualifies behind his teammates for the 3rd time this season. Epic though, a really good job to get himself in 2nd. Play Dutchy though, taking 4 poles from 4 races, continuing his streak from last year's game. And I think Topster can hear my keyboard. I don't know if you can hear my keyboard in the background or whether that's just, you know, this is me on controller. I've got, you know, flick through every driver, but on the keyboard I can just go to who I want. I haven't really thought this through because now I've got to read through this really quickly. Play Dutchy's on pole, followed by Epic, and I think Tiger was in 3rd, Toussaint in 4th, Woody was in 5th,
6 RNG.
RNG in 6th, Finn in 7th, Wolfie in 8th, Ferky the Viper in 9th, Scouting Ninja in 10th, and Ted is not on the list.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Is he in the track? Can you see him?
Can you see him on track? He's not on track. So that's really unfortunate for Ted, but we're going to have to build up to the 5 red lights, which I cannot see. And it's lights out, and away we're going. Dutchy jumped the start. Dutchy's got jumped the start because of the full start check. He's going to drop down to last place. Toussaint jumping almost everyone, going from 4th to 1st before turn 1's gone a little bit wide. Tiger's going to dive it down the inside. Epic's fallen, lost a little bit of time as well. He's dropped down to 4th. Ferky the Viper though, where's he come from? 9th to 4th, has got his BMW all the way up into 4th place. Play Dutchy though, jumping the start, meaning hit with the full start check.
Be a freeway battle.
Dropped him to last. Finn going down the inside of RNG. And it's almost 3 wide. Toussaint down the inside. Epic's going to try and hold it round the outside. Epic though down the inside for turn 4. 3 wide as Epic's going to go try and make 2 moves in 1. Epic getting his way up into the lead of the race for now. But Tiger's not going to back out of this. He's going to look to the inside. Does he go for a move? He's going to dive, send it down the inside, but not quite close enough to make a move just yet. Ferky the Viper though getting his way up into 4th place. We're looking to try and challenge the 2 BSMR drivers who are going side by side now through turn 6 and 7. The long swooping left-hander, downhill elevation change. Woody getting onto the grass a little bit. RNG is closely behind him. Play Dutchy up into 8th place after jumping the start.
Just went in straight into the back of Dutchy if we could jump the start, and Dutchy also getting great damage from that at 2. And he's just stuck in 8th right now.
2 Aston Martin drivers, the 2 teammates going side by side. Toussaint getting past Tiger Assassin into turn 11. Ferky the Viper's going to send one down the inside in the BMW. Tiger losing 2 places in 1. Woody might follow through here in the Toyota. We'll ride on ball with him, and getting all over the back of the Aston Martin. Tiger currently 2nd.
Wolfie's gone straight into the wall.
Wolf into the wall with damage, and Tiger staying ahead of Woody. Woody going to look for the inside. RNG might also look for a move, and there's Play Dutchy in the background there trying to get past Finn in the Ferrari, but after lap 1 Epic leads the way by 9 tenths. Ferky the Viper has gone from pretty much last to 3rd in a lap. A really good start from him. It's like absolute 11 from the Premier in Austria. Really good start from him. RNG maintaining his position in 6th place. Tiger though closely behind BMW. Ferky the Viper, he's going to try go look down the inside into turn 2, not close enough to make a move there. Maybe he'll look for one down the inside in turn 3. We know he's late on the brakes, he's really late on the brakes. Gets the move done, a little bit drifting though. Ferky the Viper's going to make the switch back, and Tiger's got a poor exit after going too deep into the corner. Woody might try and capitalise on this.
This track is really great for overtaking.
And all this, Woody's going to look for the inside, pulls over to the inside, doesn't quite go for a move just yet, but all this battling's allowing Toussaint to pull away from this kind of pack. He's got a 2.1 second lead already as Epic now leads the way, only by 4/10 though. Tiger's going to try and look round the outside, down the inside, which will be round the outside for the long swooping right-hander. He's going to be careful though to not go too wide. Woody actually, Woody round the outside. If he can make this move, that would have been amazing from the Irish driver. Couldn't quite get it done.
Like
obviously,
going around the outside job of Rosberg.
as effectively the Viper's gone deep.
The wall. And into the grass. Oh, he collects Finn and Dutchy.
And Dutchy's got big damage. Dutchy damage everywhere.
Oh,
so Dutchy's already got rear left damage from somewhere. On the replay cameras, just having a look to see what happened. You can see the BMW gone off, and he's hit the Ferrari, and the Ferrari's hit Dutchy. Does Finn have damage? Finn also has massive damage. So those guys all getting caught in an unfortunate accident. Meanwhile,
such a good start, he just binned it.
And you could say he fell under the pressure, but those guys with damage all into the pits. Soft, medium, and super soft tyres were on those cars, but Toussaint pressurising Epic now. This is for the lead of the race. Currently have a 2.5 second gap over the rest of the field. Toussaint's going to look for the one down the inside. Epic leaves in the room. Toussaint says there's the door, and he's going to go through it. They're going to go side by side now into turn 4, but Toussaint's not going to be able to pull off anything just yet. Meanwhile, Wolfie.
Good choice of track selection now.
Thanks, as Wolfie's going down the inside of Finn, makes the move for 6th place, but Finn's going to try and fight it back in the Ferrari. Finn on the medium tyres and Wolfie on the mediums as well, so both on the same compound of tyre. Finn might try and look round the outside of turn 5, sorry. And unable to do anything of it yet, but Wolfie goes deep, and that allows Finn to go through and make his way up into 6th place. 6th place, sorry. But Toussaint's all over the back of Epic. Will he go for a move into turn 10 or turn 11? The tricky left-right hairpin.
See if Dutchy can try and get back up the front row. They've got 50 more minutes. Can do anything. We do know his paces. We do know what his can't speak today.
And
we do know what his pace is like.
Definitely, like they say in motorsport, never give up. Especially for Play Dutchy getting damage after jumping the start. But Toussaint's going to try and go down the inside of Epic for the lead, but can't quite make the move just yet. Both of them on the soft tyres. They're going to want to try and not push too much. This track does degrade the tyres pretty quickly, as Dutchy's now all over the back of Wolfie in the Porsche. Dutchy in the Toyota's going to go for the move and make his way up into 7th place side by side in the run down to turn 1. Blue flags apparently being waved. I don't know who that's for. I don't know if Ted's here, but I can't see him.
Yeah.
I didn't see him leave the lobby, but the gap between 2nd and 3rd has dropped down from 2.4 seconds to 1.1 seconds in the last lap. Toussaint currently having the fastest lap of the race. If he can keep that by the end, he will get an extra point.
Gaps have opened up more between drivers, apart from Toussaint and Epic still battling out.
And interestingly, Tiger's gone for the super soft tyres. I've only just realised that. Tiger, the only one of the front runners to pit, but he's the only one in the top 7 to actually go for those super soft tyres. So he's going to want to try and push as much as they can in this opening stint and try and use them to their full advantage, but they're going to go off the cliff pretty quickly. Toussaint though still tucking in behind Epic's Aston Martin, still waiting for an overtake. Toussaint still following the Aston Martin, not quite close enough to make any moves yet. Just going to have to wait for Epic to make a mistake at some point in the track, whether it will be a hairpin or getting the run down to a straight. Both in the same car, so it's going to be down to driver performance here. And obviously the slipstream's going to help Toussaint out a bit. Tiger Assassin though, you can see there, but in the rear view mirrors or behind Toussaint is closing on this battle. Speaking of closing, Toussaint's going to look for it down the inside. Not close enough though to make a move just yet. But he's going to Epic going a little bit defensive. Both taking different lines into turn 3, which is interesting. It's quite a banked corner.
Let me just snap that rear.
And there's a lot of back corners. Actually, Toussaint going to look down the inside, maybe not close enough though to make a move. Tiger Assassin's closed the gap to 5 tenths now between these three. So we've got another 3-way fight for the lead. This time it's between 3 Aston Martins, 3 British drivers, and 2 different teams. We've got the Dusty Racers, I think, is Epic's team name. I can't quite remember, and the BCMR team of Toussaint and Tiger. And this battling might actually allow Woody to close down the gap if he's got the pace and the consistency. His tyre wear though is worse than Tiger's, and he's on the soft. Tiger being on the super soft, so he's going to try and have to conserve them and go for a different strategy. So these front runners, Toussaint, they're getting closely behind. Epic's Aston Martin, Tiger Assassin, you can see him in the background as well. 6 tenths behind this battle for the lead. Dutchy's made his way past Finn. I've seen that, just seen that happen a few minutes ago. And we'll be closing down RNG in the next few laps. And tops the same, multi-21s, and Tiger Toussaint's going to dive it down the inside into turn 14 and makes the move down into the lead. What a move. But Epic's going to try and bite it back round the outside, down the inside for the final corner. They're going to go side by side. Is that Epic into the pits? Or was that was just a massive snap of oversteer. Both drivers are going to go side by side into turn 1. Epic on the inside, forces Toussaint wide. There's contact. That's going to allow Tiger Assassin to have a look on the inside.
Oh, we're going to see a freeway battle here.
And Toussaint maintains second position. Epic defending his lead, fighting back hard, forcing Toussaint a little bit wide. Don't think there was any damage done to either car. So Toussaint go for a move down the inside, late on the brakes. He's giving Epic a little bit of a taste of his own medicine, you could say, forcing him wide, but doesn't pay off, and that's going to allow Tiger to go down the inside of Toussaint. So the 2 teammates wouldn't want to collide, and Toussaint might be letting Tiger go through to allow him to push while Tiger's on those super soft tyres. And while this is happening, Woody has closed the gap down to 1.2 seconds, so this could become a 4-way battle if these guys keep fighting.
Similar to Alsace a few races ago.
And Alsace was
a
really great race for those 4, Dutchy, Tiger, Toussaint and RNG. And I totally agree with Charlotte Glare in the chat. This is absolutely great racing.
Conserving the fuel really well, equally.
And Play Dutchy set the fastest lap of the race, but has a 12-second gap to close to RNG. He has pitted though, so he is on a different strategy after picking up the damage earlier in the race. But will we see Tiger go for a late move? We know he's late on the brakes, but he's not close enough to make a move on Epic into the final few corners. But he is really close now to Epic's Aston Martin, riding on board with him. He looks to the outside. Epic's later on the brakes though. Epic too late on the brakes, will go for the switchback down the inside up until the lead of the race. Epic a little bit too late onto the brakes there, and Tiger was able to make the most of it and go for the move into the lead, and is currently in first place.
Epic comes to the inside.
And Epic's oh, that was really close contact. Epic diving it down the inside, getting onto the curb, losing the rear a little bit, touching the rear of Tiger's Aston Martin. Toussaint's gonna go down the open door, down the inside, and promotes himself up into second place. Epic though close behind these two. Woody in the background, you can see closing on this fight as well. And this is great stuff from these 3 drivers.
Yeah. Just look at the backfield, what's going on. Woody, Dutchy still in the 6th position.
And Toussaint and Tiger now going side by side. Toussaint promoting himself up into the lead of the race. Will go round the outside into turn 9. Get the move done. Epic's going to try and look for it round the outside of Tiger, and can't quite do anything of it yet. Obviously the corner tightens up on the exit of the long sweeping banked right-hander. into turn 10 and 11. Now Epic's going to look for it down the inside. Does he go for it? Late on the brakes, down the inside, and promotes himself up into second place, but Tiger's going to try and fight it back on the outside, but can't quite do anything just yet, and will tuck in right behind the Aston Martin into second place. And these guys changing positions every lap here.
Yeah.
And Woody is now all over the back of this battle. He's only a second behind, so these guys battling has cost them a little bit of time. This will help Dutchy out a lot here. And front three, like I said in the chat, flying off. Completely stopped RNG, 6 seconds behind play. Dutchy's closed the gap to 7 seconds already. It was 12 a few laps ago.
I feel like Woody's he's closing the corners, but again in the streets that Toyota just dropping back.
And Epic looking for a move down the inside. Toussaint taking a wider line, giving Epic the space, giving him the room. Epic's though is going to try and fight it. Tiger's going to go down the inside though of the Aston Martin, and that's promoting him up into second place. Epic's going to try and hold it round the outside of turn 4. For the inside of turn 5, he goes for it down the inside, and a nice move from him, placing his car in the good position on track. So Tiger couldn't get the switch back, and just look at their tyre wear. Their tyre wear is almost 50%, you could say, and might be into the pits when that fuel runs out. And this battling though has allowed Toussaint to pull a little bit of a breather. 7 tenths now, so Epic and Tiger aren't going to want to battle too much. They aren't teammates though, so they probably will be fighting for position rather than working together to close down the leader. Did someone make a mistake? It's Wolfie now, so Wolfie's getting past Finn, and Finn dropping down to 8th place. Finn having front bumper damage. I don't know where that's come from. But the front three separated by 7 tenths of a second. Really close. Dutchy setting the fastest lap of the race. We'll get a point
Epic
for
down
that.
The inside of Toussaint. I managed to get the move done.
And a lovely move for Epic down the inside, late on the brakes. So he's clearly got confidence down in that final corner, and has promoted him into the lead of the race. But he's 2.6 seconds off his personal best. So the tyre wear plus this battling is costing them 2.6 seconds a lap. To people like Dutchy, who's got clean air. I say Dutchy's got clean air, he won't do soon. He's 9 seconds now behind RNG, really closing down that gap. Toussaint now looking for a move on Epic, only a tenth separating them as Epic going defensive to the inside. Toussaint can't get past the Aston Martin just yet, but he's going to try and get a good run. Does he go for the inside of turn 5? The door's open for the inside of turn 5. He sends the Aston Martin down the inside. These two still going side by side. There's a 1.2 seconds slower in their first sector. Toussaint switching it to the inside. Epic though defending really well. Tiger's now re-caught up to the back of this battle, and my god, we're in for a great race if it's going to be like this. And what could be an interesting point in this race is when each driver pits and how much fuel they put into the car. I'd expect a fuel tank from the front three, probably everyone to be honest, but if someone doesn't put a full tank of fuel in, they might jump someone in the pit lane. That could be a strategical change in the race. Obviously they will have the track position, but as we've seen, it's pretty, I wouldn't say pretty easy, but overtakes are pretty common between these front three, all in the same car with the same pace, and it's down to their drivers' driving skills. Epic though, a little bit loose on the rear. Toussaint tucking in right behind, not giving me any space, and Epic's lost the rear in this contact. I don't know if Epic's got damage.
Saved it well. No, saved it well.
Saved it well, but there was contact between him and Toussaint. Tiger's gone through into second place. That almost ended in a catastrophe. Oh, someone's around though, and it's Ferky the Viper. Doesn't have damage though. I'll get a quick replay of that, and no I won't, he's mid-spin. And Epic into the pit, so he's going to have fresher tyres. Woody also into the pits. That's going to allow the two BCMR drivers to push now. They've got some clean air in front, work together to try and extend the gap. Dutchy getting past RNG in the final corner and promotes himself up into 3rd place. But I think this is the battle for, I think Dutchy's in a 5th place. Yeah, because Epic and Woody have come into the pits. It's the soft tyres for Epic, the medium tyres for Woody. So Tiger's still out on those super soft tyres and he's just got more tyre wear than 2 Saints, and maybe we'll see both of them into the pits this lap, reacting to Epic's potential undercut. But the only problem with the undercut, and we saw this in Monza last season, is the other drivers who are out on track are going to have lower fuel than you, so they're going to have a lighter and faster car. Obviously they've got quite high tyre wear,
She's got a lot of fuel. I think he put in. He just conserved it really well.
RNG though, his fuel light's on, so he's got about 3 laps of fuel left, maybe 2, as this is quite a long track. 2 Saint and Tiger though, still separated by 3 tenths, and Fergie the Viper's left the room. I don't know if that's a rage quit or something, but 2 Saint going a little bit too deep into turn 11. Tiger not fighting it though, as these two can't afford to battle for much longer, losing a little bit of time to Dutchy, as Dutchy's had clean air pretty much most of this race after his lap 1 incident. You can just see the rear damage on his car, quite significant actually. But this is going to be an interesting point in the race. Will 2 Saint and Tiger pit? And 2 Saints into the pits, and Tiger follows him in. So Tiger from the super softs and 2 Saint from the softs into the pits. Dutchy staying out. RNG into the pits as well. Where's Epic in this? Epic round the final corner, jumps them both by quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where's 2 Saint at? 2 Saints coming around the final corner. Woody's also jumped Tiger.
Oh damn!
And like I was saying earlier, how 2 Saints 6 seconds behind Epic.
Wow.
So those worn soft tyres costing 2 Saints 6 seconds. That is massive. Epic though does have less fuel, which means he won't be able to go as long on those soft tyres.
Yeah, Epic's lap 10 was 1 minute 50, and then 2 Saints was 2 minute 15.
Wow. So you can just see the difference in times there.
Yeah.
Tiger though has come out behind Woody and will be wanting to get past as soon as possible. Woody 1.3 seconds behind his behind 2 Saints, so Tiger has lost a little bit of time behind his teammate. Dutchy though leads this race, but is yet to pit. And Tiger, sorry, is going to dive it down the inside into the bank corner of turn 9. Is Woody going to be able to fight back? We'll have to wait and see as they approach turn 10. And a lovely move from Tiger, and I think that deserves a really nice replay. As you can see, the door's open on the inside. Tiger goes for it down the inside, controlling the throttle nicely, and gets the move up into 4th place and will be hunting down his teammates for 3rd place. But Dutchy has, I think we pitted on lap 1 and is into the pits. So as Epic sets a new personal best time, only 4 tenths off the fastest lap.
Where he can push so much on it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to guess the soft tyre for the Dutch driver, and he's put on those soft tyres. So I don't know if they'll go to the end of the race. I don't think they will. It might be a 3-stop here in this race. Most of the time it's been a 2-stop. We might see the 3-stop come into play, as this track is very harsh on the tyres all round due to the really high elevation changes. But have we got any other battles on track? I don't think we do. I think Tiger and 2 Saint is our closest pairing. And we've had 12 laps of this race. 12 minutes? No, not 12 minutes. 22 minutes, sorry. 23, kinda. And 37 left to go. But what a crazy manic start we've had. The front 3 having a really good race, overtaking one another and constantly fighting for the lead, the top step. on the podium. Epic though has extended his gap to 6.9 seconds and could be on for his first win. Obviously though, we'll have to keep it clean and consistent. It's pretty close though between Tiger and Toussaint. 7/10 separate the two BCMR teammates, and I don't think we'll see much overtaken from them, but it's going to be interesting to see if we do. Tiger only a 10th off the fastest lap, so really close times to what Dutchy set earlier in the race. Dutchy set in a 1:51.2. Not as quick as he did in quali, but I'm sure when his fuel burns down he'll be trying to set a quicker time. Maybe someone will try and go for fastest lap of the race towards the end when on the lower fuel. And thank you Geordie for subscribing with Prime, subscribing for 2 months. 2 months of awesome content, I would imagine, hope. So we're down to 9 runners now after Ted unfortunately couldn't start for some reason. I think that was a glitch. He wasn't on the starting grid, and unfortunately he retired from, well, was kind of forced to retire. He didn't really start, and Fergie the Viper, I don't know if he left the lobby. I don't know if he DNF'd or whether he lagged out. I'm sure only he knows. And Play Dutch, he's currently recovered 5th place so far. He's got 3.4 seconds to his teammate in front. He's currently beating his teammate on all 3 occasions in the past 3 races and setting purple sectors. And he's actually set a 1:50.2 on his outlap. Hello.
Did I miss anything?
Not much. Not much, to be fair. Tiger closing the gap to his teammate, who's closing the gap to Epic. Now 6.4 seconds. The gap was 6.9. So we'll have to keep an eye on that battle for the lead. Epic, though, has to just keep it clean and consistent. He does have less fuel than these two behind him. And we'll have to try and stretch out the fuel a little bit longer. Play Dutch is setting an even quicker fastest lap of 1:50.8. And I don't know what he done in quali, but that's a really good lap to do in the race. On the soft tyres. And that's it, gaining on his teammate.
Definitely get by Dutchy, and then Dutchy maybe go and try and aim for those podium positions.
So after jumping the start and dropping down to last place in the grid because of the full start checks, meaning if you jump the start, the game won't allow you to accelerate until all the other drivers have gone past you, picking up damage because of it. And then later on, unfortunately, got into a bit of a collision with Fergie the Viper and Finn. Dutchy not at fault. Finn going wide, losing the rear of his car while rejoining the track, hitting Finn, who hit Dutchy and dropped him down to last place. Recovered up to 5th and is now gaining on Woody for 4th place.
2 seconds off Woody in like, what, 30 seconds?
Yeah, Dutchy's showing some great pace on those soft tyres. Now, 4/10.
Woody around 4 seconds slower each lap. Or 3 and something.
And there, Woody letting Dutchy by. Yeah. Charles Leclerc just saying in the chat, I wonder if Woody will let Dutchy by. And there is your answer. Woody pulling off to the right hand side of the track. And lets Dutchy go through. Dutchy up into 4th place on lap 14.
Gap to Tiger and Toussaint. 5/10 now. Tiger is will be let Toussaint by. Oh, Tiger's good, yeah.
And the gap.
Picked me out in 6.5 second lead.
Yeah, I was just about to say the gap at front's pretty consistent. It's not fluctuating up and down quite too much. Around the 6.5 second mark. And Toussaint and Tiger will probably be wondering what they have to do to close down Epic in the lead. Obviously lost 6.5 seconds in the pit stop. I don't know how that happened, but it has happened. I'm guessing it's because of the fuel differences that both drivers put on the car. and that's cost them a lot of time.
The differences in fuel between Tiger and Tucson is quite a lot. Tucson was 50, less than 50 it was, and then Tiger way above 50.
The gap though slowly coming down. It's come down by 4 tenths. Now 5 tenths in the first and second sector. So maybe Epic's conserving a little bit of fuel. I'm not too sure. We'll just have to keep an eye on the gap. Play Dutchy 4.8 seconds behind these guys as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But there's some massive gap. Scouting Ninja to RNG is 45 seconds. That is huge. But we've got 30 minutes left in this race, almost over halfway through, and the first few laps, the first like 8 laps were just absolute carnage. I say, well, not carnage, but very good clean racing.
Dutchy 4 seconds behind Tiger now. Dutchy's pace is insane. I think he was more than a second quicker than Tiger almost each lap. Tiger's lap 15 was a 1 minute 53.2 and Dutchy's was a 1 minute 51.9.
And
Dutchy really gaining now.
Yeah, Dutchy definitely closing on Tiger for the podium, but we'll just have to wait and see when these guys pit and how much fuel they're going to put in, because it's obviously we've just seen it, and they've lost a lot of time to Epic especially. So Dutchy might try something different with the strategy. Obviously he pitted on lap 1 because of the damage, cost him a lot of time. Currently will pick up an extra point for fastest lap. So he's going to have that's not secured, but it's going to be a tough time to beat. And do you think we might see someone like Woody or RNG try and go for the fastest lap of the race towards the end? They've got really big gaps to those behind, so we might see something different.
RNG's best comments.
And so Epic still leads this race. We've currently had 30 minutes and 29 to go. Lap 16, Epic about to start lap 17. I don't want to jinx anything just yet, but he's on course for his first win in the GT Sport League. He finished... Where did he finish last week? I think he finished 3rd last week, behind Tiger and Toussaint, but ahead of Dutchy. But this is going to be good for Tiger and Toussaint's championship. What's the word? Yeah, it'll just be good for their championship. Both of them running in 2nd and 3rd. I think they're leading constructors, and both of them ahead of their rivals, Play Dutchy, who didn't have the greatest of races last week after spinning in the dipper of Mount Panorama. I think it was turn 14 where he lost it, picking up damage in that race. But Epic still maintaining a 6.4 second gap to Toussaint in 2nd. And just looking down the rest of the field, everyone's pretty much quite spread out.
I think Dutchy will get a second race here.
Yeah, Dutchy 2.2 seconds behind. So despite pitting an extra time to these guys, he somehow found the pace.
Wow.
And this could be a 3-way battle for 2nd place pretty shortly. The Tiger's dropping off a little bit from Toussaint, almost a second now, separating 2 teammates in the Aston Martin. Play Dutchy behind them in the Toyota FT1 VGT, running a white and red livery, similar to Woody's. His teammate Woody running the opposite colours, red and white. And it's quite a nice clean stripe down the middle. It's a really nice design. I really rate it. See, it's simple and clean. But you can see Dutchy though in the background while spectating Tiger Assassin, 1 second behind the Aston Martin driver. The 2 championship rivals currently running 1st and 2nd. Dutchy, after winning the first 2 races and then finishing 4th in the third, has now caught up to one of his championship rivals, and this battle will be for the podium. So similarly to the start of the race, we're going to have or potentially see another 3-way battle. This though for 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah. Epic still in a consistent pace, keeping that 6+ second gap. Doing really well, and I think Epic will gain even more time when Dutchy and Tiger and Hussein start battling. Epic in a really good position.
And definitely Epic, as you say, when these 3 start fighting, he's going to be pulling those gaps out. He's just got to keep it clean and consistent for the next 26 minutes, and he'll be in course to finish on the top step on the podium. Meanwhile though, there's going to be, I'm going to predict, a monumental battle for 2nd place, and it's going to be between these 3 who are running 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the championship. Dutchy's flashing his lights and is eager to get past. And if the race though was to finish like this, it really tightened things up. Toussaint being 3rd in the championship, Tiger being in 2nd, but Dutchy's already looking for a move, flashing his lights. You can see in the twilight, it's currently 8:30 in the made up part of France. This isn't a real track, one made by the creators of GT Sport. And Dutchy all over the back of Tiger. You can see his headlights beaming down on the Aston Martin. It's going to go round the outside of turn 12 into turn 13 into the penultimate 2 races. Dutchy flashing his lights again. Bunker for a move down the inside of Toussaint. 2 cars, 2 corners, and Dutchy getting his way up into 2nd place. Toussaint doesn't have damage from that, but the 2 BCMR drivers will be fighting on board with Dutchy here, getting past 1, and then really late on the brakes, down the inside, a little bit of contact, but got himself up into 2nd place. I did not see that coming from him.
Yeah. Wow, what a move.
We know the Toyota. As I said, we know the Toyota is going to struggle in a straight line, so it's going to be how long he can keep that 2nd place for, and I'm sure Toussaint and Tiger will be fighting back as quickly as they can.
Diving down the inside on Dutchy, and he gets it done on.
But Dutchy's going to do the switchback, and Tiger went a little bit too late on the brakes there. Yeah. Dutchy back up into 2nd place. Tiger will try and have another go at him into turn 4.
Not able to make like a 2nd from that small battle.
Yeah, just from those little overtakes. And has got himself a 7.3 second gap.
We were hoping for a long battle for it. It's basically just ended it in like 5 seconds.
And oh, wow, I did not see that coming from Dutchy. 2 overtakes really late on the brakes, and is up into 2nd place. Will try and extend his advantage over over Tiger and Toussaint, and in the championship as he hunts down Epic.
Really low fuel. Compared them to Dutchy and Tiger. It's already got the red light flashing.
So Toussaint's kind of timed his fuel quite nicely there as his tyres are starting to go off. You can see the red bars in the bottom left. I'm kind of asking if I'm a FIFA grind. No, I'm not on a FIFA grind. I do play Ultimate Team, but I don't grind it out, and not as much as I know some people do. And Geordie's saying, what a guy, Dutchy doing Dutchy things again. As Toussaint into the pits, only had 7% of fuel, and if Epic's warning lights on, that could be concerning for him. Obviously we can't tell how much fuel they've got in the car. Obviously it tells them exactly how many laps they have in the car. We can't see that up here in the commentary box. We can just see the fuel bar, and it doesn't really go down from that red spot. It's quite hard to see. But Tiger almost diving it down the inside. There's contact between the 2. Dutchy's drifting through turn 3 after a little bit of contact. Dutchy though keeps 2nd place, and Tiger really eager to get past now. Dan Schneider saying that Dutchy is crazy. Totally agree with you there, 100%.
Yeah.
He's on another level. And
Dutchy's stream. Yeah. Wanna hear his reaction to that double overtake.
Epic though, losing time to the leaders. Is he conserving fuel? 6.2 seconds was 7.2. It's now 6, 5.9. Epic is really low on fuel here. He might be in a lower engine mode. Dutchy's closed the gap to 5.8. I think I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but I think Epic might be in a lower engine mode here, as I'm sure he'll be pitting this lap. Dutchy though extending his gap behind to 7 tenths, 8 tenths. And does Epic come into the pits, approaching turn 14 and 15 now? Will he pit? He does come into the pits. That's Epic into the pits with 1% of fuel. He's timed that perfectly. Dutchy and Tiger stay out, and Dutchy will take the net lead of the race.
Oh, no reaction from Dutchy from that double overtake. Just calm and quiet like Kimi Räikkönen. But what a move.
And Epic's just been released from the pits and has come out once again ahead of Toussaint and... I was going to say ahead of Toussaint and Woody, but Woody's coming to the pits. Where is Toussaint losing all this time in the pit lane?
She's putting a whole full tank.
Toussaint putting in slightly more fuel, but that has cost him a lot of time. RNG also into the pits. And that's going to drop Toussaint into 4th place. Dutchy though only has a 4/10 gap behind to Tiger Assassin, so he's not pulled away as quickly as he would have wanted to. Both have really worn soft tyres.
Yeah.
Gap only 3/10 though, separating these two. Tiger.
Will they maybe be really close or really far between?
It's going to be hard to tell where he comes out, whether he comes out near.
It's like almost 25 seconds, maybe. Just completely guessing.
Yeah, I know the damage takes 2, 4 and 6 seconds for the aero suspension and engine. Tyres I think take around 5 seconds, and fuel takes as long as they're in there for. So I'm gonna say around Dutchy pits though, so we'll actually find out how long this takes Dutchy. Now you can see the tyres going off the Toyota, new ones coming on and in for fuel. Epic's in the final corner now. Toussaint's coming around the final corner. Dutchy's still in the pits. Where's he going to come out in respect to Toussaint?
Very powerful on this track.
Yeah, definitely. Toussaint's going through turn 1 now. Dutchy's come out behind the Toyota. You can just see him there driving past. And yeah, like you said, the undercut really powerful. Obviously, the tyres do wear really quickly on this track. I think this is the 3rd pit stop made. 2nd or 3rd pit stop made from everyone. Dutch has done one more than these guys, obviously picking up the damage. But Scouting Ninja's just got past Finn, and Finn and Scouting Ninja having a little bit of a battle here. Spin on the Super Soft is going to go down the inside of turn 7, and good move, promotes him into 8th place. A battle that's not for the podium. And there's massive gaps between everyone. Finn to Wolfie, 26 seconds. Wolfie to RNG, 26. RNG to Woody, 17. Woody to Dutchy is almost 20. But meanwhile, Dutchy is 17 seconds behind the leader Tiger, who is yet to pit in this race. So, look at Tiger's tyre wear.
Yeah, and his fuel as well.
And someone's off. It's Scouting Ninja. I think he was letting Tiger go through. Oh no, he's got engine damage, so I think there's been an accident there. And late on the brakes into turn 11.
To the fastest cars. Okay, gets out very neatly.
Gets out of Epic's way there. And Tiger Assassin now through the final corners. Would he pit? I'm thinking he would. And he does come into the pit. So Tiger into the pits. 7.6 seconds behind Epic. So Epic will retain the lead of the race. There you can see going by Toussaint though. Where will he come out? Where will Dutchy come out in this as well? Dutchy right behind Toussaint. Tiger still in the pits. He lost a lot of time doing the overcut, but onto the super softs, crucially.
13 seconds to Epic and 7 seconds to Dutchy. The undercut is just hugely powerful.
So we've seen this 2 or 3 times already, the undercut. Really benefiting drivers on the fresher tyres. And you can just see it in the lap times, the lap times from the 51s to the 54s.
Yeah. Dutchy putting the purple sector best.
So Dutchy setting purple sectors all over the back of Toussaint now. These two have been battling in pretty much most races in most racing games, whether it be F1 or GT Sport. You often see these two fighting on track. But here in Alsace Village for round 4, first and third in the championship will be going at it. Dutchy round the outside in turn 10, down the inside for turn 10. A really good move from Dutchy if he can make it work side by side now into the hairpin. Aston versus Toyota. Toussaint having the inside line. There's contact. Dutchy hitting Toussaint in the rear, and that promotes Dutchy up into second place. But let's just see how much of a replay we can get of that battle. Side by side these two went, and what a crazy move. And
Dutchy can hunt Epic.
So there was contact between Dutchy and Toussaint there, and that the hairpin when Dutchy was getting the switchback.
And a really good comeback from Dutchy. This guy is insane.
Luckily no damage. If Dutchy wants to close the gap to Epic, is there a bat in the midfield? There's Finn getting past Wolfie.
Yeah. Then having engine damage on the second lap. Pitting and then having engine damage again, and then pitting again.
It would be a great recovery drive. Dutchy though has to close. Let's do some quick maths. Half a tenth, so well 5/6 a lap to catch up to Epic on the last lap of the race. So it's going to be pretty close. Is he gaining the time? It's hard to tell. 6.3 seconds, 6.2. So I will keep an eye on that gap. We do have a battle though for 7th place. Wolfie trying to close back down on Finn. Finn on the super softs getting past Wolfie a few corners ago. And the Ferrari is moved his way up into 7th place. We'll be trying to close down a 49-second gap to RNG, but I think that's pretty unlikely.
Compare the times between Dutchy and Epic. Dutchy last lap was a 151.7 and Epic's on 151.
Yeah, Dutchy closed the gap down to 4.9 seconds already. So this is going to be a really close and intense end to this race if Dutchy's able to close down the gap to Epic and extend his lead at the top of the championship. And his two main championship rivals, his closest 2 rivals, are behind him in 3rd and 4th, separated by 5.2 seconds of the 2 BCMR teammates. And we're on lap 25 now. We've had just over 75% of the race, so expect to see 6 more laps potentially around that sort of mark. And Dutchy's closing the gap, 4.7, 4.8, 4.7. So it's going to get really close between those two at the end. Dutchy and Epics. Toyota versus Aston Martin. I feel like we're going to be saying that a lot this season. Finn's extended the gap to Wolfie's within 1.2 seconds.
Would you maintain that 5th position? Good, decent race from him. Also RNG. Where's Fergie the Viper? He's left.
Yeah, Fergie the Viper disconnected early on in this race. I think lap 8 or around that sort of lap number. Woody in 5th though had some battles with Tiger and Toussaint while fighting for the podium. Lost out on that. Has found himself in 5th place, kind of in his own race to be fair. 20 seconds in front and behind, 33 seconds off the lead. But speaking of the lead, the gap has come down.
Your back's gone now. The gap, I'll just finish off. The gap has come down to less than 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds now. Dutch at the previous lap, 51 seconds, and Epic 52.7. Dutch are really gaining now. Epic also consuming a lot more fuel.
I just thought I'd drop my controller there real quick. Do apologise about that, but thank you for finishing off. Thank you for finishing it off. Dutchy though is closing on Toussaint, sorry not on Toussaint Epic, but Tiger's Toussaint's into the pits actually. So might go for fastest lap on the super soft tyres.
He's round and he spun, engine damage.
Replay time. Let's get in on board with Woody once again. I think is this the third? Is this the fourth race in a row?
Yeah,
has he spanned in every race, or pretty much most races?
Right here, I think.
He's gone wide, went wide, turn 11 onto the curb, spinning the Toyota round, and that's allowed RNG to catch up. And RNG will take 5th place in this race. Took Woody into the pits then for I would think the soft tyres.
She won't be too happy about that.
And Toussaint has gone on to the super soft tyres following his teammates as Tiger pitted for the super softs about 6 minutes ago. Dutchy closing down the Aston Martin. Epic trying to get his first win in the league. Dutchy though, the bionic man that he is, will be hunting him down every step of the way. And with 10 minutes to go, he's closing the gap to 1.9 seconds, sorry. And I almost lost it there, almost.
Sorry, Woody, for that. Dear curse.
I do seem to do it a fair bit here. I should stop saying. Dutchy's had a horrible race. So's Epic. It's been a shocking performance. But it has been a great race all around. Many battles for the lead and at the back of the pack as well between Finn and Wolfie. Woody's come out in 6th place, so he's only lost 1 position, 9.4 seconds behind RNG, and we'll be looking to try and close that down as soon as he can. But while we're kind of has someone overtaken someone? I swear I saw the times move about. Must be my eyesight, but
scouting ninja drifting everywhere. He was just drifting. He hit his back end of the car, hit the pit entry barrier. You should get a replay of that.
I didn't quite get a replay. But Dutchy closing down Epic every step of the way. 6/10 now separate these two drivers. Epic's going to have to do some defending for the remaining 9 minutes in this race. It's going to be a lot to ask from him, as he's got a very quick driver behind your runner-up from season 1 last year, and we're looking to try and get his 3rd win in this season, his 11th overall, I think. If he wins this race, I'm not too sure, but he's flashing his lights. You can see the rear of the Aston Martin glowing as we are in the twilight setting of France. Currently 8:30 p.m. and Dutchy going a little bit wide through turn 11, sorry, around the amazing track of Alsace village. 8 minutes 30 seconds left to go, and Finn is into the pits. We've seen both of these drivers do some late moves down the inside, but it's going to be which one can be braver and bolder on the brakes. Woody and Finn into the pits. I think that could be for some super softs, maybe going for the fastest lap of the race. Dutchy trying to put Epic off a little bit with the lights, but there's a lot of traffic in front. Both hopefully they all get out of the way. Hopefully Finn in the Ferrari is able to pull over and get out of the way. The blue flags will be waved towards the Ferrari driver. Hopefully he pulls over to the right hand side, riding on board with Epic. You can just see the rear of his car glowing with Dutchy's rear lights. Finn going a little bit wide, hopefully lets both Dutchy and Epic through, and he does nicely and allows this battle for the lead to continue on for 7.5 more minutes. And we've got a race on our hands here. Dutchy on about the same tyre life as Epic. Epic though on less fuel, so he will theoretically have a faster car. But Dutchy tucking in right behind Epic and is looking for that move. Dutchy almost pushing him through the corners. You can see in the onboards, you can almost see inside of his car. We're looking to try and go around the outside. We'll ride on board with him as he pulls over to the outside. We'll try and do a similar move to what he done earlier on in the race. He's going to hold it around the outside. Oh my goodness me, he's made it work round the outside of turn 9. What a move from Play Dutchy. That I did not see that coming. But Epic dives it down the inside, too late on the brakes, goes wide and is round. Epic spinning and is in second place. Hits the barrier as he rejoins. And here comes Tiger down the inside. Two Saints are also going to try and capitalise on this. And Epic losing 2 positions in the corner.
Didn't see too well. Oh, okay.
But almost so 2 Saint now down the inside of Epic. So Epic losing even more positions in this race. Epic going to try and look down the inside. There's yellow flags up ahead. Someone lost it? Is it Dutchy or Tiger? I think it's just blue flags. Oh, there's Wolfie span. So he got damage. Well, he's got front damage, but luckily he's pitted. Span just ahead of the pit lane. Is it into the pits? Epic's into the pits as well. So unfortunately, he won't be improving from that 4th place. Pits for the super soft tyres, and will try and go for the fastest lap of the race. Will only improve though. Will only improve his position if Tiger, 2 Saint, or Dutchy were to spin or make a mistake. But the first front 4 in this race are the front 4 in the championship, and will just extend their leads on everyone. No one's really going to make inroads on one another, as they're all in the same position as they are in the championship. Dutchy will pick up the full 31 points as it stands. And speaking of the championship, Dutchy leads the way currently with 83 points. Will pick up 31 if he's able to win this race with the fastest lap at the end. Tiger's closer behind him in second with 75 points. 2 Saint in third with 66. Epic in 4th with 57. A bit of a gap to Finn in 5th with 33. Fergie the Viper with 28 behind him. Ted behind Fergie the Viper in 7th for 23. RNG Lim was 1 point behind Ted. Woody 1 point behind RNG. And Scouting Ninja in 11th. Math Gamer in 12th. Rounding off the grid, and Wolfie will be a new addition to the grid if he's able to finish this race in 8th place.
Well, come back from Dutchy.
It's been an absolute amazing race from him after jumping the start with damage twice and recovering up to first. Almost been a last to first challenge from him. Fergie the Viper got off to a really good start, but unfortunately lost it down at turn 11 at the hairpin. But meanwhile, 2 Saint almost closing
4 minutes to go.
the gap to his teammate. I wonder if Epic is on his lap, which could potentially see him set a purple lap time. Fresh super soft and low fuel, setting 1 minute 49.7 on his out lap. Obviously the pit lane comes out ahead of the start finish straight, so that's why it's a lot quicker. So let's get a flying lap on board with Epic in the Aston Martin and see if he can improve and set the fastest sector. He goes 300ths purple in the first sector, so this is going to be a lap to watch. Down into towards turn 5, hooks the apex up nicely, runs wide onto the curb. A little bit of instability riding the curb on the exit of turn 5. Down to second gear. Shortly back up into third though for turn 7. Now the long swooping right hander is going to feel really nice on those fresh tyres and more fuel. Takes a tighter line than some on the inside. Some like to take it wide on the outside and cut back for the second apex, you might say. Others take it differently. He's 200ths up on his personal best. But meanwhile, Tiger's made a mistake and has allowed 2 Saint to go through.
Camera won't change.
On board with Tiger, 2 Saints close the gap down. Does he let him go through? Yeah, Tiger's lifting off. So Tiger lets Toussaint go through on the replay cameras, promoting Toussaint into the lead. Into second place in the race, and would be good for both of them in the championship in a way. Toussaint will be able to get closer to Dutchy, but Tiger won't be making inroads, or as much inroads. 3 points, though, I think, is the gap between second and third. 24 and 21 points for those two positions respectively, and Epic wasn't able to improve and go quicker than Dutchy's fastest lap, setting a 51.7. But he was, you never know, he might go quicker later on in the race. Though 1 minute and 56 seconds to go in the race, so we're down to the final laps. Final lap in this race. We've had 31 laps, and from lap 25 I remember saying 6 laps, so that's pretty close if you ask me. I'm a good predictor. 2020, Natty G quoted that. But it's been a pretty calm race for the majority of the midfield. RNG, Finn, Wolfie, not Scouting Ninja to be fair as well, not getting involved in too many battles in this race, had their own personal scraps between one another, some really good overtakes. Play Dutchy though, starting in first place, dropped down to last, and has somehow got up into first. Once again, Connor asking what happened to Epic. What did happen to Epic? Oh yeah, he span at turn 11. Span at the hairpin whilst battling with Dutchy, went too late onto the brakes, onto the grass, and lost control of his car, and then pitted for the super softs and tried to go for I think he tried to go for the fastest lap, or was just not comfortable on his soft tyres.
Final lap now.
And with 30 seconds left to go in the race, it will be Woody to come across the line. Well, will be the first driver to finish the race, and then it'll be RNG. Finn might get overtaken by Dutchy. I get lapped by Dutchy, so we just have to keep an eye on that. But time is up in this in round 4 from Alsace Village, and it will be Woody, who got involved in a few battles for the podium, unable to maintain those positions. Will come round the final corner after spinning a couple of laps to go, and will claim 5th place here in Alsace Village. RNG closely finishing behind in 6th place. Finn hasn't been lapped by Dutchy just yet, so he'll be the next car in the Ferrari to come across the line in this race. And I totally agree with Charles Leclerc, one of the best races this season. I think Scout Ninja finishes in 9th place in the Mercedes, but wow, what a race we've had today. Finn approaching the final few corners on the track, and he's...
Oh, Dutchy's round! No, I'm joking.
he appears to have made it to the line, but Play Dutchy started on first, was last, with damage by the end of lap 1, has recovered all the way up to the lead to win his 3rd race of the season, to win 3 from 4. An amazing comeback from him with the fastest lap of the race. Toussaint will come across the line in 2nd, Tiger closely in 3rd, Epic unfortunately down in 4th. He was hoping to have won that race after spinning down at turn 11, but a good result from him nevertheless in 4th place. And we're just waiting for Wolfie now, who comes across the line in 8th place. And there is your final grid from today's race. Dutchy, Toussaint and Tiger are your top 3 on the podium, but once again it's a familiar helmet, a familiar suit and a familiar car picking up that winner's trophy. But one of the best races this season. Incredible overtakes, incredible moves at the start of this race. But thank you for everyone for joining us in this race. Thank you for the drivers and the admins for helping us run this race. Thank you, Cryptech, for joining me in the commentary box. And stay tuned to see more events and more races coming up in the near future. We've got an F1 event this Sunday, 3 tracks around Austria, Canada and Brazil, all 25% races. Make sure to tune in for that. The podcast will be recorded hopefully this weekend on Monday and will be released in the next maybe 3-4 days hopefully. And that's been all from us here in the GT Sport League. Join us next week for Monza, same time, same place, same drivers, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.